The first civilizations, ancient times. When farming villages kept growing and organizing, they eventually became civilizations. Complex societies with cities, governments, and cultures. The first great civilizations developed in places where agriculture was very productive, often in river valleys, which provided water and rich soil. Around 3,500–3,000 BCE, the world's first civilizations arose in Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley, and China, Mesopotamia. This region, in modern-day Iraq, is often called the cradle of civilization. By 3000 BCE, the Sumerian people in Mesopotamia had built city-states like Ur and Uruk. They had kings, temples called ziggurats, and they invented cuneiform writing. They also developed one of the first calendars and codes of law. Mesopotamia's location between two rivers made farming successful and cities prosperous. Ancient Egypt. Along the Nile River in Egypt, another civilization was born around 3100 BCE, when Egypt's first dynasty, series of rulers from one family, began. Egyptians built impressive cities and are famous for their pyramids, huge stone tombs for their pharaohs, kings. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built around 2560 BCE and is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Egyptians developed hieroglyphs, their system of writing, and made advances in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Indus Valley. In South Asia, along the Indus River, in what is now Pakistan and northwest India, the Indus Valley civilization flourished by around 2600 BCE. They built well-planned cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa with straight streets and brick houses. They had advanced drainage systems and traded with Mesopotamia. Mysteriously, the Indus Valley civilization declined around 1700 BCE, possibly due to climate changes or other factors. Ancient China. Early Chinese civilization emerged along the Yellow River by around 2000 BCE. According to later legends, the Xia dynasty existed, and by 1600 BCE, the Shang dynasty was ruling in China. The first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, came much later in 221 BCE, but early foundations were laid in these ancient times. The Chinese developed writing, ancient Chinese characters, by at least 1200 BCE, as seen on oracle bones used for divination. They also started using bronze and later iron tools and weapons during their early history. Other early civilizations arose as well. In the Americas, for example, a civilization called Norte Chico, in present-day Peru, existed as early as 3100 BCE, and later the Olmecs, in Mesoamerica, present-day Mexico, around 1200 BCE, are known as an early complex society. In Africa, besides Egypt, civilizations like the Kingdom of Kush, Nubia, south of Egypt, developed, and later Aksum and others, though these flourished in later periods. Early people in these civilizations built monumental architecture, like pyramids, ziggurats, or stone temples, developed trade networks, and created governments to organize large populations, culture, and religion. In ancient civilizations, people often believed in many gods. This is called polytheism. For example, Mesopotamians worshipped gods of sky, sun, and storms. Egyptians worshipped gods like Ra, the sun, and Osiris, the god of the afterlife. Hindus in the late Indus Valley period began developing their ancient faith. The Greeks, a bit later, believed in Zeus, Hera, Athena, etc. Religion was very important in daily life, and rulers often claimed they were chosen by the gods or were themselves partly divine. These beliefs helped unite communities and explain natural events, like floods or the seasons, before science existed. Ancient civilizations also made important inventions. Mesopotamia is credited with inventing the wheel, the plow, and a system of mathematics based on 60, which is why we have 60 seconds in a minute. Egyptians invented a form of paper made from papyrus plant and complex building techniques. The Indus people created accurate weights and measures. Chinese civilization gave the world early innovations like silk production and, later on, would invent things like paper and compasses. By around 1200 BCE, people had learned to make tools out of iron. Ironworking began in this period, following the Bronze Age. Iron tools and weapons were stronger and more widely available than bronze, which changed how wars were fought and how farming was done. Better plows, for example. As time went on, small cities grew into larger kingdoms. Conflicts over land and resources led to wars between ancient states, and sometimes one king conquered many cities, creating an empire. One early empire builder was Sargon of Akkad, who around 2300 BCE conquered Sumerian cities in Mesopotamia to form the Akkadian Empire. Later on, Babylonian kings like Hammurabi, who made a famous law code, and Egyptian pharaohs like Ramses II expanded their realms through war. These ancient conflicts might seem distant, but they set the stage for how nations and empires would interact throughout history.